You ever wished you you got swatted in the middle of an interview?
Dude, have you ever seen the fucking YouTubers that like people call SWAT on them and all this shit? That's so fucked up, man.
It is fucked up. It's not even. It's fans. Well, fans.
Yeah.
Definitely not a real fan.
I don't know. Like, I don't find it funny.
No,
Like,
it's not.
I don't think
It's harmful.
I think it's harmful for sure.
There's got to be somebody who either died or got hurt a lot.
think.
But
I would think
they fucking, because they don't just like, they don't knock on your door and be like, hey, are you a bad guy? Like, no, they throw a flashbang through the window and
They do crazy shit, yeah.
yeah, like,
Well, imagine like people like just fucking fly in here, like, and you have a gun, you know, like you're gonna be like, oh fuck, and like try to protect yourself or a knife or whatever. Like, you're probably you're gonna get harmed.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're like, it's, you know, LAPD or, you know, NYPD or whatever, you know, wherever you're at, but like they call out saying like who it is, so it's not just like you think it's somebody trying to rob you or kill you or whatever.
bro, if I got flashbanged, I would not be thinking of a robber.
No, yeah, but they don't always get flashbanged.
Yeah. The ones that I have seen, one, it was like live.
They got flashbanged?
Yeah,
Oh,
on stream, yeah. And
That
you just see like a
sucks.
fucking, I think the camera probably went blank. I do
I
remember
would
like,
imagine. Might.
yeah. And dude, and like flashbangs aren't, it's not fucking Call of Duty where you get blinded
and you're like,
by white for like a couple seconds. You're like, whoa. No, it's fucking, your ears are gonna be ringing for a while after that. It's disorienting. It's not just like a visual thing. It's sight, sound. You probably are physically or like slowed down. I imagine you probably get some sort of like, just disorientation. I guess. It's fucking nuts. Imagine if you swallowed one of those.
I mean,
if it went off in your stomach.
I imagine you'd probably die, just because of like.
No, you could take it.
There's no fucking way. It's
I
like
could
that
speak
gas.
for yourself.
Yeah, you're right. You got that iron stomach,
Yeah.
dog. Yeah, you just.
I'm a runner, dude. Runners got that. They call it the iron lung.
So
My lungs could survive.
So you
I
need to
can't
like
speak
breathe
for my
it
other
in.
organs. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you just said you ate it
just
like your stomach.
Yeah, just like whenever it goes off, my lungs just consume it. It's whatever.
And this is like backed by science or just by?
And then I drink a Corona.
Because you're not on that Bud Light train anymore.
I would never drink Bud Light.
That's true.
What am I, a fucking supporter of pro-choice? Is that what?
No, dude, that has nothing to do with that.
It's the trans thing, but I'm trying to think of like, because isn't it just like just general like you're called like a left wing person if you're.
Oh, what? Wait, no, you're called
left wing is wait what?
left wing is the people who.
I know what left wing is.
Okay.
But
What are you saying?
left wing is the supporter of trans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
and they're also pro-choice. Left wing
Yes.
is pro-choice.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I didn't know what you were saying. No.
Yeah.
No, what I was saying no to was you being like, yeah, the pro-choice. I was like, no, dude, Dylan Mulvaney's like the trans. I don't know if he gives a fuck about. I'm sure he does, but about pro-choice. But dude, he fucked. Well, I mean, he didn't fuck up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was it.
No.
He fucked, dude.
He fucked. No, he. I mean, he didn't fuck up. Like, I guess, like, it definitely hurt his mental state from what I see online, and it probably would with all these people being like, "Fuck this guy, fuck." It's like, dude, he was hired to do something. He did it. End of story. Who you can be mad at is like the people who like hired him, the business, you know, the whatever. But like, you can't be mad at the person who did it. Like, why wouldn't he be like sponsoring Bud Light? Like, I got my face on a can. That's fucking sick.
Yeah,
you know.
dude. That's kind of what reminds me of like even YouTubers getting sponsored by videos. And it's like it's oftentimes something like really stupid that you could probably tell that they do not care about, but they're getting paid, and like that's fucking huge for them.
Yeah.
And like people have to understand that that's supporting them.
I mean, it's a career move too. It's like that is his career. He is a social media guy, I guess. I'm pretty sure he has like a YouTube channel with like 1 million followers or subscribers or whatever.
And what better way to advertise than getting your face
On
a beer
Bud
can?
Light, yeah, dude, that's a huge. Apparently,
America's biggest brand.
yeah,
almost,
exactly.
probably.
It's the biggest beer brand for sure. But yeah, probably one of America's biggest brands in general. But
Yeah, wouldn't doubt it.
But yeah, I mean, I know that their sales in the past month compared to last year have went down like over 26%, and that's huge. That's billions of dollars lost, and I think it's only going to continue to go down, which fucking sucks.
Buy Corona instead. I honestly,
Because people are buying different shit. Yeah,
I don't notice a difference between a lot of like light beers.
No, I don't think there's a huge difference, but there's like a slight difference. But I mean, after like 2-3 beer, like there's not a difference, man. Unless you're drinking like a fruity beer versus like a light beer and all that, there's a difference. But
we like to do liquor first.
As you should, yeah.
I think beer is good, but only whenever you're buzzed. In my opinion, it's hard to down it right away.
Last weekend, I was drinking beer all night, and then at like 2 a.m., my friends and I decided to start drinking liquor. Terrible decision.
Yeah. Just
throwing up for like an hour.
Was there any food, like any in between or before?
A little bit of food between like a few beers. Yeah, a little bit. Not much.
Damn.
But I ate mostly like earlier in the day. But it fucking sucked, dude.
When was that?
Last weekend. Last Saturday. Yeah. So today's Friday. That's almost a week ago.
Yeah.
Zass.
And you know what? That's really surprising to hear. Well, not surprising anymore, but it's refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't have been your response to it a year I feel a year from now.
A year from now or a year ago?
Were you a year? Sorry.
Oh, a year previous to now? Yeah. Okay, what about
drinking? Were you drinking a lot a year ago? Or you cleaned up your act a little bit? No. It was probably a year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half. Yeah, no. For a while, I was drinking a lot, yeah.
And that would have been nothing.
Probably for like 2 years. No. Yeah, that wouldn't have been anything. But yeah, for like 2 years. Pretty good span of drinking. Yeah. And I think a lot of people fall into that, honestly. I've heard so many stories, especially people that are like ending their careers at college or like in a transitional period of time where, one, I think you're getting hit with like a lot of responsibilities that you just haven't had yet. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the same thing happens when kids like come out of high school, but at least usually like they're still with their parents. I feel like it's like a little bit different because you're like, fuck, like a lot of kids don't have like the option to go back homes after college, which luckily I did. But I think a lot of kids don't. So I've heard so many stories of kids, especially at like the end of their college career, like drinking excessively or doing like drugs excessively. Like I'll never be like, oh, drinking's bad, doing drugs is bad. It's like if you smoke weed here and there, who cares? Now obviously there's bad drugs, like everybody fucking knows that. But like if you drink here and there, caffeine. That's cool. No, caffeine's terrific. I like caffeine.
I don't think I could do this podcast anymore.
But yeah, I like excessive shit. Obviously not good, but I think you see it a lot in transitional periods of life. I don't think humans like change. I think that's one of like the hardest things for humans to go through.
Yeah.
Like it's so comfortable to stay in one spot. like you might get like a little depressed or something, but you're like your mind automatically reverts to things like like comfort, safety, environment. When you change your environment, when you change your job, when you're done with school, all these different changes, career path changes. I know a lot of people recently that have been changing, like, I don't want to say lifelong careers, but like they've been in the career for like 20 years. I would almost say that's like a lifelong career.
Yeah.
Since like they graduated, there's like a few job changes here and there at the beginning, not a big deal. But then when you're with a company or whatever for 20 years and then you change, I know there's like a lot of anxiety behind that. I know there's like a lot of stress between changing jobs and shit. And a lot of people don't take that stress well and fall into like those bad patterns.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you? I think
will fall into bad patterns or have stress.
Yeah, have stress.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
There's so many people that I know, especially our age, that change their like college degree and stuff in the middle of it. And,
yeah, I have twice.
And so I'm sure there's also a lot of people that are still going for the same thing or got a degree in whatever they were going for that they're not really happy with, but they're like, I made it this far.
Right.
And yeah, that's why I never did college, because I was like,
weren't sure.
I wasn't like, I don't know what's available to me. Mm-hmm. And because I'm so comfortable around home and I don't know anything around here that would entail a degree or something, for sure, that I'd be like, okay, if I get a degree, I can for sure go here or something. So I never did it. And I was like, I don't know specifically what I would want from college or anything. So, I mean, I obviously have a degree and I'm doing another degree currently for my master's, but
besides all that, I see a lot of people making more money getting certificates online, on just on Google. There's like certificates you can get. There's a certificate that I'm gonna get soon. It's like a specialty certificate, but there's a ton on Google. Like the other day, I was watching a video and they were going over like their income, a degree, except for the one guy, and the one guy who didn't have a degree, but he had a certificate in it was like cybersecurity, I think it was making more than all of them.
Right.
So it's like I think it's like it's not about having a degree. You don't need a degree, and I think there's a shit ton of bullshit degrees. You're fucked with college debt unless you're like an engineer, a doctor, or like a lawyer, or maybe like a nurse or something. You know, like there's degrees that make sense. And then I'm not trying to talk shit, but there's like degrees like liberal arts degrees, bullshit. Art degrees, bullshit. Graphic design, bullshit. Like I'm not trying to be a dick.
I think art degree is more if you're going to be like a teacher or something.
For sure.
Because art is subjective, so I mean,
and you can do it at like like a cheaper college, but like have you heard of like Full Sail University?
Right.
It's fucking insanely expensive. Like it's a really good school. Don't get me wrong. It's a very good school. I've heard so many great things about it. But apparently it's very fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So if you're paying that out of pocket and you're going for some like graphic design degree, and like the average pay for graphic designers as of like 4 years ago was like $36,000 a year, you're fucked. You could work at fucking McDonald's and make more than that. And I'm not talking shit on McDonald's workers, but I do think that that's like a job you start out at.
I think with art, though, the idea, a lot of people go into art hoping that they can become, the artist,
Yeah, for sure.
So that they get this giant thing that, like, it's kind of like, I think the easiest job whenever it comes to, like, schooling, the schooling to, like, outcome ratio is like an author. Because you can make one banger book and you'll be set for life. Mm-hmm. So I think, like, that's kind of what a lot of people in art hope for, is that they make one solid piece or they get, like, one solid, like, job or something.
And I almost think that's, like, the wrong outlook, I feel like. And you're pretty into art. Like, are you looking for, like, that one banger, or are you doing it because it's, like, a passion that you have and shit and you want to do it?
I don't do art for any, like, financial thing. It's
because,
it's a passion.
And that's how I think, like, people should be following art, at least. That's how I see art. And that's me. Like, I don't do any art. I don't do any of that shit. I paint occasionally just because I think it's fun, but I don't do art. But if I were to, like, get into it, I wouldn't be looking at it from a financial viewpoint. And I think, like, a lot of famous artists weren't like, I'm going to make so much money off of this.
Yeah.
But also, don't get into fucking massive pieces of, like, debt. This video I was just watching last week, this dude got into, like, $120,000 worth of debt for an art degree. And I was like, dude, you're fucked. Unless you
make starring.
Well, actually, it was graphic design, which, okay, I think my sister got a degree in graphic design, and she, like, I'm sure she's glad she did, because, like, it taught her stuff. But also, like, the debt that you accumulate when it, like, all art is, I feel like, is like what you said, is subjective, and then, like, you're just creating shit. Like, how much can they really, like, they can help you with, like, I'm sure if you're, like, a painter, with paint strokes and, like, how to do certain things, but, like, it's your creativity, don't you think?
If you're getting a degree in, like, graphic design or something like that, you're going to be working for people that want you to make logos and stuff.
Sure.
So, and that's the reason I don't do it for money, is because I actually did whenever I first started putting my art on my Instagram, was like, I was kind of like putting in my description. I wasn't like commenting about it, but I was like I put it in my bio that, like, yeah, DM me for commissions or something.
And you had a few people hit you up, right?
Yeah, but they were like people that I knew.
Sure,
new or newish.
You're still making money,
like,
though.
But I don't really do it anymore. But, like, it's just like whenever you have somebody telling you, like, what they want you to do. Like, I had one person who I did a piece of art for that was really fucking fun, because he was just like, yeah, I just want this theme, and that's all he gave me. He's like, this theme. He's like, space something, and I was like, okay, fucking yeah. And he just let me run wild with it. I gave him the piece. He's like, that's fucking awesome. I was like, oh, cool. Nothing. But then I worked with one person, not going to say any names, but they just had all this criteria, and I was like, dude, I don't want to do all that shit. Like, that's going to take away from what I think makes the art piece good.
Yeah.
And, like, and so I ended up not letting them use the thing that I made that I thought was really good. Didn't let them use it because I didn't think they deserved to use it.
I remember the story. Yeah.
Yeah, it just So I stopped working with people and more just like started posting stuff that I thought was fun. I don't post much at all anymore because I've been working a lot on music and it's kind of hard to like post that like in a visual form on like something like Instagram or something.
Yeah, fair.
And I also it's like I want to do it in bulk. Like I'm kind of like being a perfectionist about it. Not saying that I'm a fucking music master, but I have found recently that like I say like the past couple months, like a couple months ago, I had like an epiphany where I was like having a fucking like crisis on like what the fuck do I want to do? Like where do I want to go? Like what is gonna be my fucking hobby? Because stuff was like starting to like wear down on me. Like art's something that I like to do whenever I have an idea and like I want to like act on that. But and then like something like video games just don't hit anymore. Like they haven't hit since I was in like high school. I haven't played like sat down and like fucking pulled like an all day like and just played one video game. Like I just can't do that anymore. I don't know if it's like I just have a lower attention span or games suck or it's because I want to move on to something that makes me feel like I'm making progress on something. And that's why I had like an epiphany where I was like, music is fun. Like I have so much fun making music. I'm not a master at music. I'm not like a fucking music major either. I don't know a lot about like music theory. I know basics because I was a band student, but like, goddamn, do I have a lot of fun doing it. And that's why how I treat art too is like, I'm only gonna do it if I'm having fun doing it. I'm never gonna try to do it like I have to get a piece out by this time or something. Because that's what I was doing on Instagram. Even after I stopped doing commissions, I was still like, well, I want to at least get like a piece out per month, like because I want to like, but like I wasn't getting any followers or anything. Like, I don't get me wrong, I'm not like shooting myself down or anything. I think I'm a good artist, but not good enough that I think people would like follow me for more content or something. So I was just doing it for fun. I started doing it for fun, and kind of got into music and kind of strayed away from art because now I'm having so much fun doing music. And eventually, I think it'll be really cool to do like collaborations is what I want to do because I've had so much fun doing like so many different types. Like right now, I'm working on, and I hope this isn't one of those things where I say like like I'm working on this, so be excited for it, because I do that a lot where I have a lot of ambitions and then they come to nothing. That's kind of like my personality is, I feel like a lot of the time. But I'm working on like an EP sort of thing where it's just different types. Like I have a whole library on the software that I use of just different types of music that like I'm not going for a certain direction, but like it's just so much fun to create all these different types of things. And I feel I'm just like right now I'm just venting. I have no like direction where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of venting, but yeah, music is such a fucking like it's such a fun thing, and I kind of wish I did like go to school for it or something, because I didn't realize how much I liked it until I was introduced to it more. Because I kind of was a pretty standard classic rock and metal. That's all I listened to, and then friends introduced me to. Caleb introduced me to like a lot of alternative stuff. Yeah, and then I was like really listening to it and be like, just like we were in like the hot tub or some shit, and he played a song by 070 Shake called Under the Moon, and that was like that song played like every time we hung out. And that one night I was just listening to it, I was like, you can do that in songs? Like, is that legal? Like, you can't do that. Like, just like different things that she would do in the song, or actually she goes by both, but it's just fucking nuts, dude. Like, and like when you're sitting there making your own stuff, like you don't understand how it's like same way. I know you wouldn't understand this, but like an artist looking at a blank page and being like, fuck, where do I begin? Like whenever you're like trying to make a song or something, like it sounds so simple. If you're listening to a song like on the radio or something, you're like, oh, that wouldn't be that hard to make, but try doing it from scratch. And also, you can't copy that. That's already off the table. Like, you can't copy that. So, and it's like, it's so fun because your ears will hear different things, like as you're playing something on a loop. Because whenever you're making something, it's not like you just start from 0 seconds and then just add stuff as you go. Like you're playing stuff on a loop. Like it's looping. And you'll start to hear stuff, and you're like, oh, I gotta add that now, and it's so fucking fun, dude. I have so much fun with it. And
yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I had some friends that made music. You know, a few of them.
Yeah,
but
I'm hoping to collaborate with Shot Afloat.
Yeah, and
eventually.
like I used to go to like the studio with them, and the ones like, you know, it was like one studio was just like a homemade studio. Fucking sweet though. Like that was some like good ass times. But then there was also like a professional studio we went to in Pittsburgh, and that was a great time. Great time. That's
yeah.
You know, and like we were just looping music. The dude, luckily, it was one of those things like connections, I guess. And like you were talking about like collaborating and stuff like that. This one dude I met in college, I brought him and then somebody that I knew in high school, and I brought them together because they were both like in music.
Right. And
the dude from college ended up going, like, he's like, yeah, man, I live in Pittsburgh. I was like, oh, fuck, like I didn't realize you live so close. And we used to, like, him and I used to hang out all the time. But, you know, then he moved to Pittsburgh, and, you know, I found out he was living there. And then we met up, and he was one of the top producers in Pittsburgh. His name was Broker, but now he's in, like, fucking Japan or something as of now. But, you know, I was so happy to bring them together. I love doing that shit. Like, the other day, actually, I showed somebody a few pieces of art that you made, and he's, like, an artist himself. More or less what he does is a lot more... like he does art kind of like you do art, but he also does, and I'm not even sure how to describe this because I don't know art. I just really don't. But he also does like cartoony stuff, like where you make like animations, I guess. Like he's trying to get into animation.
Actual like video.
He's getting into that.
Animation, yeah.
Yeah. So he's getting into animation. He's like, dude, that's sweet. Like I was showing him your art. I was like, dude, you guys would probably be like pretty good friends. I was like, do you have like a community of people that you talk to about this? And he's like, no, dude, I don't have anybody. He's like, I literally just do it by myself. I'm like, that's something like you need to do. Like if you want to take like your art seriously, which like eventually he wants to get into something,
right.
Because him and I were talking, and you know, you go to work, like we all have jobs, you know, that it's like, it's a job, you know, it's not like, sure. Man, I'm fucking pumped. It's like, you know, some days you might wake up and you're like, all right, like this will be a good day, you know, and most days I wake up because like I do enjoy my job. So I'm like, okay, sweet. But it's not like, fuck yeah, I'm ready. You know, like it, ultimately it is a job,
like SpongeBob.
But I would still consider myself lucky. Yeah. I guess SpongeBob loved his job. Like, it's not like that.
He got paid like nothing.
I know.
He's still
exactly, because it was like his passion, and I want to eventually work on my passion. I think a lot of people our age do. So I was like, dude, you need to build a community, and like that's what I'm trying to do now to an extent, is like make friends that have similar interests as me, and also want to like move forward, because I also have friends that are like, no, dude, I'm cool with my job. Like I like my job. I'm getting paid decent. You know, I'll probably stick here for 10 years, and then, you know, I want to move up to, you know, this and work till I retire. And I'm like, okay, like, that's cool. Mm-hmm. If you want to do that, that's cool. Like, I'm not going to hate on anybody that does that, but I don't see myself doing that. And I don't want to be, maybe this will sound shitty, but I don't care. I don't want to be around people that want to do that. I don't want to be around people that don't have a future other than their job and their security, in their small family that they want to have.
You don't want to be around people that aren't ambitious.
Right. So I love being around creative people, even though, you know, I don't fucking know anything that you are talking about when you talk about art. Like, I have very limited knowledge. Like, I took an art class in college, passed it with flying colors. Like, I was decent at drawing and stuff.
I've never taken an art class. It's not a...
No, yeah.
It's not a knowledge thing. It's a...
Right. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like
saying,
if you're like drawing,
because it's just me. I'm learning from me. I don't.
Oh, well, okay, fair. But you know, if you're like, oh, dude, like I drew that. Well, okay, but like if you were to tell me, like, you know, like I created a piece that looked like this or something, like I'd be like, what the fuck's that? Right. You know. But what I'm trying to do is create like a community, because from what I've seen in like research studies and what people have said, is if you get like a group of 12 people that all have similar values and shit, you can literally like change like the course of like events in your own life, but in like other people's lives as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that's super important. So like right now I have like 4 or 5 close friends that all are super ambitious and have fucking goals, and they don't want to like become like, yeah, man, like I just want to like fucking chill and make a ton of money and blah blah blah. It's like, no, like we have actual ambitions. Like, yes, we want to make money. Money is great. Money is a tool. It's not, I want to make millions of dollars for the sake of being rich and fuck you. It's like, I don't want that.
My money and hold it and burn it in front of
and be like, fuck you, dude. Look, I have a Lambo out front. And yes, that's cool, but I never want to be like that. I will always treat the janitor the same way I'll treat the CEO of the company. And it's always like with respect. I always will respect people no matter if I'm fucking making $1 trillion. Like, one, I can't be bought. Like, no money, I can't be bought.
Especially if the janitor has some fucking sick Nikes, too.
Dude, they always have sick Nikes.
1, 2, buckle shoe.
That song's fucking banger. Dude, everybody fucking knows that, dude.
I don't know why that resurfaced either. Because that was a Vine, wasn't it?
I think, was it?
Maybe not a Vine, because it's longer.
No, because Mr. Beast just fucking, I hate that I keep bringing that motherfucker up. But he just made a video with that dude.
Put him in the thumbnail.
He just made a video with that dude. And he's the same age.
Shit, Jesus.
Yeah. So I think it might be a TikTok thing, not a Vine. Maybe it was a Vine thing, but it was recreated. But the dude looks the same.
It was a decently long video, though, so it couldn't have been a Vine. It might have been like whenever TikTok like started or
Maybe.
something. But yeah, TikTok. Do you remember when TikTok was Musically?
Yeah, I was never on Musically, but yeah, I remember.
It was always cringy. Everyone talked about how cringy it was, and then Vine shut down, and then everyone's like, "Well, it's the next best thing."
Yeah, true. And now TikTok like took over the social media industry.
Yeah, I mean,
by storm, like by far.
I don't remember what happened to Vine, but Vine had it down. Like Vine figured out. Vine was ahead of its time, I think.
It was sweet, dude. I used to make Vines. They were fucking hilarious, dude. They're 6-second videos.
I'd make
and then
them,
I think they made them a little bit longer, but
they weren't even good. But I'd make them. Yeah.
Same. It was sick. I thought it was hilarious, and they were so fun to make because they were super short videos.
Yeah, and it pretty much forced creativity. Like you had to be creative if you want to go viral.
Because you only had 6 seconds.
Yeah, especially humor. Humor had to be creative. Like you had to be clever with it. But then there were people who were like Hannah Stocking or Lele Pons that would just do like funny face.
Yeah. But then they had like huge knockers, and then like big calcium cannons, and they're just like slapping around, and they're not funny. Yeah, and they're just not funny though.
2 big personalities.
Yeah. Well,
and I really wanted to motorboat the personalities.
I can't even say 3 personalities. They had 2 big personalities, and then. Well, I don't know what that thing on top was, but it was something with like it had a mouth, and it like said stuff.
We might be remembering different. I don't remember anything like that.
Just 2 big personalities.
There's 4. There's 2 up here, and then there was a couple down there.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of personality.
The Aspergers.
Is that what they're called? Is that like a?
Dude, did you ever see the South Park episode that talked about that? Dude, now I'm doing what I just fucking told people I hated, but I don't go into. Into depth.
You know what? Explain the entire episode.
I'm gonna explain the entire 30 to 45 minute episode.
So it starts with an establishing shot.
But I'm gonna I'm gonna do it in like a condensed period of 34 minutes. So basically, what happened?
Do like an edit right here where it's like just 34 minutes later.
Hey guys, we're back. What's up?
That was fucking hilarious, though. Like, you got me. Like,
yeah.
I feel like I was there for the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're not even 34 minutes long, I feel you took 34 minutes. You explained every joke in depth.
Yeah.
And, like, you know what? Sometimes you need that. Honestly, dude, this is so weird, but, like, I used to, whenever I was a kid, my parents would, like, watch movies with us. Like, I would just, like, throw on a movie, and then they would just kind of, they'd be doing whatever they're doing, and then they'd kind of levitate or gravitate towards the living room and just kind of
levitate.
They just start, they just start gravitating towards the living room and just watching the movie with me.
Yeah.
And then my mom always did this thing that was like annoying to my brother, but I kind of liked it, where she would just like point out jokes or laugh. Like she was like a laugh track. She was like she's like a laugh track there. Or she would explain jokes. And like sometimes when I was a kid, I didn't get it, so I kind of liked it because she would explain stuff for me. Oh, that is funny. Or she would be like, whenever there's like a pivotal moment in the movie where like some choice is made, and she'd be like, "Oh, but now they can't do this," and I'm like, "Oh, that's right, they can't do that now."
Well, how old were you,
Mom? This was last year, so.
So, did you ever think? Did you ever like stop yourself and be like, "Maybe I'm autistic"?
Dude, I definitely have some form.
Oh,
We've talked about this before.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm ADD, probably OCD. No, not ADD. OCD, and then Maybe ADD too. There's actually a thing. I just realized I don't have beads on today. I usually wear beads.
Yeah.
To fidget.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a fashion thing. I know it doesn't look cool. It's just like I like to like.
Well, yeah, I guess technically
because I
they're
don't
out
have
of
my
style.
beads. I'm holding the can now. I usually have the can on tape. But
Yeah, I can tell you're like moving around a lot.
Yeah, I always do stuff with my hands. Anytime like I go out to a restaurant or something, I'm always playing with a straw wrapper, and that's definitely like an OCD thing, is what I look.
Yeah, every time. Well, usually every time I go out to the restaurant, I'm usually doing something with my hands. It's either like fucking a bitch or like counting my money. But
you only use your hands for fucking a bitch?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool,
dude. I can't be getting hoes pregnant, so
yeah,
you can't be doing
slapping them around.
Well, I do that. I only use my hands.
What I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
I use my feet, too.
Fuck them kids. You know?
You ever tow a bitch?
Twice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I believe you, actually.
Just with my pinky toe.
How big's your pinky toe?
That thing massive.
Wouldn't you like to know?
That thing is thangin', dude.
You know what's
Why do you think I always... No. Why do you think I always wear socks?
I figure for the normal reason.
Nah. All right, anyways.